Hi everyone, it's Crafty Tina's. Today's video is going to be a half-page birthday book. Now I've already done a birthday book using a quarter page, and I'd planned to make the half page, and I also had some followers request the half page so that the pages are bigger. Now a half page means it is a half of a 8.5 by 11. It's a US standard size piece of paper. In the US, our copier paper, printer paper, standard paper comes 8.5 by 11. You're simply going to take that 8.5 by 11 and fold it over to get the pages for your book. That means you don't have to cut any of your pages, so all your pages are going to be the exact same size and smooth. The best part about not cutting the inside pages is the book goes faster. The inside of my book, I just used cardstock for the cover and inside. I used cardstock for the dividers. I am going back to stamp and decorate the inside dividers. That will be in another video because I could do an entire session on stamping and decorating the inserts, so that's what I'm going to do. So that's why I left all of these plain so that I could have plenty of material to do that in. Now this is my birthday book, which means I have a page for every month. I left it blank for you to put the month. This is a stamp set that we've used before, and I told you guys if you buy it, there is going to be more videos on more books to use it. This is perfect for calendars, birthday books, lots of different choices for this particular stamp set. So I have geared it to fit, like all the months of the year, fit in this box. So I'm making some of my notebooks especially for this stamp book, so you can customize it. You can go ahead, this is a PDF on my Facebook page. You can go ahead and download that and add the month if you want. If you like to write fancy or do calligraphy or just do a colored pretty little written version, it's optional to do that or stamp, or you can leave it for the person receiving the book if the book is a gift. So you have 1 through 31. Obviously there's not 31 days in every month. You just simply use the ones that relate to that month. They are double-sided, so if you have a lot of people in your life and you have a lot of birthdays, you can use January and have front and back. Or you can use January for this page and February for this page, and so on. So in this book, I've only put 6 pages so that I could have 12 months. I didn't do the full page for 1 month. So I only have 6 pages, so you'll need to print out 6. I added another divider, again plain, so we can decorate it at a different time because there are so many options for decorating these dividers. That is going to be an entire video. So make sure you subscribe so you'll know when I do these extra videos. The next page is the address book, and because this is not the quarter page, which is a really small book, sorry I don't have the quarter page to show you in this video. It was purple. My mom loved it, so she took it. She's already used it, so I can't use it as a demo in this video. But you can go back and look at my video. It is the purple and black quarter page address book. You'll see how small the little address sections are. Because this is a half page, I was able to add another section for another address and make them a little wider and larger so that it's easier to use. I've added 8 pages, so you'll need to print 8 of these sheets, but then that gives you 5 on each side. So that gives you 80 addresses. That's a lot of people. I don't know 80 people, so that works for me. Again, another divider to be decorated. And this is something new. I wanted a way, if I'm going to have a birthday list up here, then I wanted a way to keep track of throughout the year. If I saw good Christmas gift ideas, I could jot them down throughout the year and not tell myself that, oh, that's easy, I'll remember that. That doesn't happen at my age. So this is just simply a recreation of the address. It's the same format, the same boxes and lines. I just added instead, I put the name, the idea, the store, and the price, just to give me a place to put something. Should I see something in the store and I want to ask if that would be a good gift for someone, especially if it's like a child and you want to ask the parent. I'm not asking permission for noisy toys. That's a given. If they're not going to be at my house, they can have noisy toys. I just want to be able to write down the ideas while I'm having them and not rely on myself to wait. So there's 8 pages again. There's 10, so there's 5 and 5, so that's 40 different ideas. another blank page to decorate, and then I simply added some line pages in the back. This made this a really nice complete notebook. These spirals over here, these double loop wires, this is my 3¼ inch. I always have these 4 sizes, and then I use this guide to tell me what size wires I want to use. And in this case, I wanted to use the 3¼ inch. My favorite is this 9/16. It makes a very nice book, but these wires from Amazon came in 10 different colors, so I love having that color choice. These 3 only came in, I think, 4 or 5 colors, which is great. It's like silver, gold, white, black, and blue. But I really love having the silver, the rose gold, the gold, yellow, green, orange, blue, purple, and red. But guys, that's a lot of different colors. I like my notebooks to be colorful, but in this case, it wasn't necessary. The silver looked really nice with the print, but that is my favorite size. And again, these are on Amazon. For this video, we're using the 3/4 size, so I'll put that link in the description, along with the link for the stamps. If you ever see something on my video and you'd like to know where I bought it at, just comment. I will make sure that I put the link in for you. So we're going to make this half book, but I'm also in this video going to explain how you can add a page after you've bound your book. Say you fill up your address pages and you're like, oh, I just wish I had, one more page. I'm going to show you how to add this in the most secure way that I have found. I have a work notebook like this and I've run out of pages, so I tried a little experiment and it worked. It's still working with daily use, so I think I have a solution to add a page to a notebook. You're not going to be able to take it in and out, in and out, in and out, but just putting it in, it is going to stay. So make sure you stay tuned for that part if that's something you're interested in. All of these pages are my design, so they are on my Facebook page for download. The Facebook page link will be in the description. So we are going to make this book, go over the supplies, bind this book, and then we're going to explain how we're going to add pages. We're using the split wire. I like calling it the split wire, and I don't think that's the proper name for it. I like leaving the center space blank. It's easy to hold. It's pretty, and it's different. To me, the split wire is the easiest way to bind. Now, I have the mini cinch coming in the mail. I broke down and bought it because I did see it really cheap on sale. So I'm like, I'd really like to show you guys how to do the mini as well as the full. And I didn't have the mini as an example, so I was trying to guess when people asked me questions on the mini. So stay tuned for more videos on the mini because that is coming in the mail. We are going to use the Crafty Tina's cinch log to figure out our spacing for our wires. This again is on my Facebook page. This is a add as you want. We are going to continue adding to this sheet until we have no other sizes available. I have multiple size notebooks, how to set the number of holes, how to set your slider, everything you need to make your notebooks and get the same spacing on the top and the bottom. This is going to center your wires. We update this on a regular basis. The second page is anything over 12 holes requires you to reposition, so I've put a separate category for anything over 12 holes. You see here we have 14, 16, 17, 21, 22, 23. The very last section is my favorite, and it is going to expand rather quickly, but so far I've only needed these measurements. We have split wires, 5 and 5, and this is an 8.5 book. You only look at this using the measurements what side the wire is going. This sheet does not care how big your notebook is this way. It doesn't care how wide it is, it only cares how tall it is, or what side the wire is on. Because if you turn the book this way, we're not worried about this measurement, we're worried about this one because this is the wire measurement. This is 8.5, so this is the categories we're going to stick to. And I've made the 5 wires and the 6 wires using the 8.5 size. Today we're doing the 5 wires. So let's get started. First thing I want to show you is where I got this paper, because this paper is really pretty. This was at Michael's on the clearance section. Now when you go and look at paper in the clearance section, don't go by the header of what the paper is. This is November Soiree. It looks like it is supposed to be like a wedding or anniversary stack. It's got a lot of fall wedding vibes to it. This notebook is all about birthdays, so I chose it because of the different types. I mean, to me, this is beautiful. It doesn't have anything to do with a wedding or fall. It's just pretty. This has a lot to do with dates. Again, to me, this is more of a Christmassy vibe than a like anniversary vibe. So don't look at the front of the book and say, I will never need November wedding pages. For $3 for 48 sheets, that's a great price. Look through the book and use your imagination to think outside of the box. Like, this is very pretty. It would be a great inside cover. This is flowers. It doesn't have to have anything to do with like an anniversary or wedding. This does. Always in Love, Wedded Bliss, beautiful. But this would be a great anniversary card book if you're making a special book to hold your anniversary cards. So there's always options, guys. Always go for the clearance rack first, because you're going to find your best deals there. And you're going to want a lot of paper choices, so you don't want to spend $10 on one when you could spend $3 and get 3. So that's my helpful hint for the day. Let's talk about what you need for this book. You're going to need your wires, which is 3/4 inch. That's what we're using for this notebook. Because I'm doing the 5 and 5, I'm going to move that over here. One strip comes 21 loops. Because I am using the split wire effect, I can now use 5, 10, 15, 20. I can make 2 books out of 1 wire. So by doing this, I am saving wire to make more books. Again, another cost-efficient way to make your notebooks. I don't mind discarding 1 loop and getting 2 books. If you have 2 or more, save them, because we are going to make small books, split books, using our leftover wires. So we need 5 and 5. You're going to go to the side that the loops are connected on. So you have these little loops and you have these big loops. See how these are bigger than these? These aren't connected. The big loops are connected, and the big loop is where you're going to cut it. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to cut the wire that's holding 5 and 6. Using wire cutters, do not use your scissors. You will ruin them. If you don't have wire cutters and you have an old pair of scissors, you could do that, but make sure you mark those scissors that they are now officially wire cutters. You can get these at the dollar store or Harbor Freight really cheap. They cut better. It's best to invest in a pair. Don't steal your husband's, because he will come looking for you, and he might grab your fabric scissors by mistake. Just a helpful hint. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I have enough wire to make another full book. I can make another split wire book, and I can make another one of these. So now that I have my wires, you need 5 and 5. You're going to need chipboard or whatever you want to use for the stiffness to your notebooks. They don't have to be stiff. They could be flimsy if you want to use cardstock. The bigger the book, the thicker I feel it needs. This is 30-point chipboard. I haven't needed anything thicker than that. I have had a few books where I thought it would be best to double these for the back. So that's not a bad idea to double these if you want your covers to be thicker. You just simply glue them together. For this book, you're going to need front and back, and they're 5.5 by 8.5. This is a half page. I love making half page and quarter page because there's no leftovers. This is exactly the size of my chipboard. It is 11 by 8.5. By cutting this in half, I have no leftover pieces, because you will end up with all these little pieces that you can't always necessarily use fast enough. By cutting it in half, and this is a great way to store, this is a drawer, comes 3 drawers in a little white frame. I'm sure you guys have seen them. They're made for an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I actually store a lot of stuff in these, including my wires. By cutting this in half, I know that means my notebook can't be larger than my pages inside, and I'm okay with that for this book. I'm also okay that this side is not bigger for my tabs, because on my quarter page birthday book, we put tabs. I will be doing another version of this that does have those tabs. I'm going to be making a address book only that has the tabs. But this is why I do so many of the half and quarter pages. 1, I don't have to cut my pages because they're folded. 2, I don't waste chipboard. The next thing you're going to need is inserts in between your pages. And I took 2 pieces of cardstock, again, saving paper, and simply cut them in half so that I have 5.5 by 8.5. You need 4 total, so that is just 2 pieces of cardstock. Then you're going to need your pages. This is the half page birthday sheet, the half page address sheet, the half page gift idea sheet, and the half page lined sheet. These are all on my Facebook page. You're going to need 6 of the birthday, 8 of the address, 8 of the gift idea, and I believe I only did 5 or 6. I did 6 of the line pages, and that's totally optional. All of these are optional, how many you put in. I just wanted to let you know how many was in this book in case you're duplicating it with the same size wire. If you want more pages in here, simply go ahead and add them, and then just go up a size in your wire. The rest of the book is going to be made the exact same way. So here's all my insides. Now I'm using the paper from that book. Now, to me, this screams birthday. It's got foil on it, and this is the rose gold. This looks really good together, but to me, I thought birthday when I saw this, not anniversary or wedding. So let's get started making our covers first. They are super easy. We're just going to run through it because I'm sure you guys have all checked out my other YouTube videos on how to actually make the cover. We're going to use double-sided tape. I'm using the advanced tape glider. I'm going to put them on all 4 sides, add a little to the middle, and then I'm going to put it directly in the middle of my outside cover. And my outside covers are 6.5 by 9.5. They are 1 inch bigger than the chipboard. You need a whole inch because you need a 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Once you have it attached to your chipboard, you're going to clip your corners. Remember, we go close to the corner, but not all the way. And now we need to do our edges. This is pretty nice sturdy chipboard, so I'm going around and folding it first. That's totally optional. You don't have to do that. Then we're going to use this again to put on all 4 sides. This is Squeaky. You'll see him in almost every video. I even have a video showing you how to load the adhesive tape back in here because that is a challenge. If you've never done it or you're new to this machine, don't get frustrated if you can't do the refill. Just go watch the video. Now we're going to fold them all in, starting in the center and working your way all the way around. Isn't that pretty? I know you guys see that circle light, but the shine in this is beautiful. So now I need to add the back, or the inside to the covers. Move this up so you guys can see it better. The insides need to be a 1/4 inch smaller than your chipboard. So instead of 5.5 by 8.5, we're doing 5.25 by 8.25. Because you want to put this in and have just a little border all the way around. It keeps the paper from the edge to keep it from curling up or keeping you from ripping it up by turning the page often. But it also creates a really pretty, especially with these 2 papers, it creates a really pretty border around this. So I'm going to add my double-sided adhesive. Now this time it is important to go all the way to the edge, close without going over. If you go over, it's okay. You can just simply fold that glue back. The trick to this, guys, is put it down, pull the trigger, roll it to the end, release the trigger, and then pick it up, in case anybody is struggling with actually how to use this. It's very well balanced in your hand, so don't let the size fool you. If you don't get close enough, put more. And then add some to the center. Once I've added all my adhesive, I line it up in the center. And I don't measure or do anything fancy like that. You can. Then you want to make sure it's very well pressed. It's important that the paper adheres to each other right away, and that will keep it from popping up. That is very, very pretty. So now let's make the next one. We're again going to add our adhesive to the chipboard. And this does not have to go edge to edge because it is going to be totally enclosed. I just get close to the edge and then add some more. There's no right or wrong way. It's simply a placeholder to hold it on here, but you want enough on that side so that you don't feel that it's not sticking. This sticks very well, so I don't feel any air pockets or bubbles because I put enough to hold it down flat. Again, we're going to clip our corners, easy peasy. And because of the stiffness of this cardstock, I'm going to fold it first and then put the adhesive on. If you're using paper, this is totally not necessary. A thin cardstock is not necessary, but sometimes these printed foil cardstocks are really thick and nice and stiff. So giving them that fold first before you put the adhesive makes them lay flat. And we are out of squeaky. When that happens, get that paper off, you grab your double-sided score tape. I didn't look at him to see how close he was to being out. I would load him on camera, but it does take a little while to load him, and I don't want to bore you guys. If you do want to see how to load it, please go check out that video. I've had some good comments. People were thankful that it was helpful, so I must have explained it well enough. But we have very little left, so I'm just going to use my double-sided score tape. So if you don't have one of these, it's very easy to use double-sided score tape. It's just paper with the double-sided adhesive, so you don't have to worry about cutting it. You just tear it however you want. It sticks better, in my opinion, sometimes than this. It is a thicker glue on it, and I think that helps. So if you have something that's shiny or needs to be on there better, this may be the better choice. So now that I'm ready to put this, I want to stop. This is going to be my inside cover and this is my outside cover. This is the point where I need to know how I want my stripes to go. Do I want them to match front and back, or do I want them... There is no other way. I'm sorry. It's going to look the same no matter what. I thought there was, because certain patterns, when you do this, look different when it's flipped, but this is just a one directional, so there is no other way. No matter which way I put it, it's going to be the exact same. Always check, double check, triple check when you're doing prints that you do have it in the same direction you want it to be. You don't want to get done, especially if it's a paper you're really loving, you don't want to get done and mess up and not have another piece of paper, because this book doesn't have 3 sheets, it only has 2 per print. So I've just used 2 sheets because this is bigger than the half page. So I would not be able to make another book exactly like this. I know when you're working with wood, it's, you know, measure twice, cut once. It's kind of the same theory in crafts. double check everything, especially if you don't have that paper again to make another one. You don't want to have your heart set on this book and have to go and find another type of paper to use. Now I'm pulling the tape off as I go. You don't have to do that. I mean the paper. My problem is I will forget because it's white on white. I'll forget what I've pulled off and what I haven't. And you do not want to accidentally leave a paper on one of the sides, because that would be really hard to get out once you're sticking it down. So now I have all 4 sides with the double side, and you can see it doesn't take much longer with the roll of tape as it does with the tape gun. It does take a little longer because sometimes you have to find the edge. So now I'm ready to put my inside in. And again, just eyeballing it in the center, leaving that little border all the way around. But now I want to make sure that it's nice and secure. And you cannot feel the glue, by the way. You can't tell I use this versus using the gun. There's no difference in the way it feels. If you're using paper, you may feel a little difference, but you're not going to feel enough of a difference for it to matter at all. So now I have the inside covers. Guys, isn't that pretty? I love the foil. So now let's do the punching. So make sure you have everything you want in the order you want it, exactly how you want it. Then make sure you have your covers with the insides facing each other. Now we're going to use the cinch to punch our holes. We're going to remove our wires. Now, I just emptied my cinch because it was full, and I decided to throw it in a jar. This is nowhere near what I've done. This is just what I just emptied. I like seeing this. I like seeing that, wow, I did a lot of stuff. That's great. So I'm going to collect mine in a jar, and I'm going to put the date on it. I'm going to see how long it takes me to fill it up. No, I'm not going to use this as confetti, although I was really tempted to use it at work, but then I might get in trouble. So I'm just going to hang on to it because to me, it's a visual aid of, wow, I've done a lot with my machine. I just thought I'd share. So now it's time to set the machine. This is your slider, and these are your pegs. And if you use the Crafty Tina's log, we're doing an 8.5 book. That means 8.5 is the size where the wires are going. Even though this is a 5.5 book by 8.5, this log doesn't care about the other side. It only cares about the side that you're putting the wires on. In this case, we're doing an 8.5 with 5 and 5, 5 and 5. So the first thing we have to do is set the slider to 1 1/4. This is your slider. You're going to line it up with this first top line. I'm going to bring the slider out to 1 1/4. I'm going to push in pegs 1 through 5. 1 through 5 all gets pushed in. 6 through 12 gets pulled out. This is another thing you need to double check. Double check your measurement, double check your pegs. Once you punch, you are done. You will have to reprint your pages. So now that our machine is set, I'm going to do the first section. Again, this is the way I want it. This is face up. I turn it over. I always do face down because that sticks in my head and I can always be consistent with my pages. Again, next section, face down, all the way to the back and all the way to the slider. Punch, flip, punch, face down. Do the next section, face down, punch, flip, punch. Again, face down, punch, flip, punch. Now these have all been punched the exact same position. They will line up perfectly. That is why I do that. I keep in my head face down. I got that from using the printer at work, trying to print on letterhead. I had to put the logo face down. So it's already in my head, face down, face down, face down. You might want to use always face up. Just be consistent when it comes to the split wires. This method works great. However, there's always room for you to put your own spin on it. Now we're going to take the 2 covers, and to be consistent, to make sure these 2 books, the holes line up perfect, I'm putting the insides facing each other. And then I'm still going to do face down all the way to the back. Make sure your covers are both all the way to the side, all the way to the back. They butt up against here on purpose, and you've put this at a setting so that this space and this space is exactly the same. Punch, flip, all the way, punch again. So now I have my covers. I'm going to put them in the stack exactly like I want my book, and my holes are perfect. So now I want to bind it. So using the split wires is a little different. You can do this one of 2 ways. I'm going to show you both ways, but if you're new to this machine, I want you to hang them. I don't want you to do what I'm about to do. The first thing you need to do is remove the back cover, keeping it the same direction that you took it off. Put it on top. Then you're going to put your wires in with the small loop, not the big loop, the small loop going from the back and going forward. Now my wires are in. If you are new, hang your first wire and remember this. Everything on the inside hangs on my wire. My cover goes on next. My back goes outside to outside next. Then you can come over here and hang your wire where it needs to go for the rest. Actually, guys, put your stack in, put your wire on, and then hang it. Okay? Hang your inside pieces. Then put your front, put your back with the outsides facing each other onto your machine. That wasn't difficult. I was just making it difficult. Either method works, but if you are new and you are making a bunch of notebooks, putting it on the wire and telling yourself everything on the inside goes first. Then the front cover goes next. Then the back cover, outside to outside, goes. It will help you learn to put the stack properly. Now, the reason we're doing this is because we don't want the seam on the outside of our book. We want it in the back cover. No seam. So now we're going to cinch the wire. This wire is 3/4 inch. So we want to line up this little teardrop to point to the 3/4. You push this down and move it to line it up to the 3/4. Now we cinch one at a time. I'm going to bring you down here. You need to make sure your wires touch the back. And I can't get the light to go in there. There we go. You want to make sure your wires are flush against the back. Once you set it, double check it. Make sure your wires are inside the press and they are flush to the back. You're going to hold the notebook here and press down. Now you have a perfectly round wire with no flat top. We're going to do that again. We're going to do it on the other side. There you go. You can see that better. See how my wires are flush against the back? That is the goal. That is to make sure they are cinched correctly. And just press down. Again, my wires are perfectly round. There's no flat spot, and my seam is now inside my book, not on the outside. Let's come back here. Now we open the book, and we have these perfect wires. They are round. They don't have any flat sides or anything on them. We have our book, folds flat, and it folds around. And we have our seams all the way in the back where they belong. Now, I did tell you I was going to show you how to add a page after the fact and have that page stay in. So we're going to grab a page and grab a strip of cardstock. It doesn't have to be stiff cardstock, just any cardstock. You could use a stiff one if you prefer. We're going to add this piece of cardstock to either side of our page. It doesn't matter which side. It's grabbing the dispenser again, and it's empty. I just want to secure it inside the book, inside this piece of paper. So I'm going to put a strip down. I'm going to put my little cardstock here and try to line it up pretty straight. As long as it's inside that paper, you're good. Then I want to put another strip, and I'm going to put the strip on this side of the cardstock. Just so that the punch is only going through one strip of sticky and not two pieces. It doesn't matter. Once you punch a few more pages after you do this, that sticky will not be on your punches. Trying to make sure you guys can see. And then I'm going to fold my paper and work its way across that. And then I want to make sure it's nice and snug. So now I have this snug piece. I'm going to take my cinch and I'm going to punch it just like I would if I had put it in the book in the original. Face down, punch, flip, and punch. Once I've done that, I'm going to take my scissors and exactly in the center, I'm going to snip all 5 on both sides. I'm going to take my book and I'm just simply going to put them in the wires. Now I have done this for my book for work, which I use daily. It is not falling out and it is not causing me any problems. Because we put that piece of cardstock, it's allowing this to be thicker and have a harder time pulling out of the book. It's as secure as this one. This one's only paper. This one is paper with the strip of cardstock. This is also another way if this book was important and you were having to use it on a regular basis, or it was a child or an elderly that needs the extra support, you could do this to all of your pages to make sure they stay in. Not with the cut to bind it originally. We could have done that to other pages to make them stay in the book more securely. But that is how you can add a page after a book has been binded. Let's say you use this book for a couple of months and you realize that you never use these. You never use the blank pages, but you need more gift pages. You can simply tear these out to add more pages if your binding is not big enough. I left room here. This book can expand some. You could also go ahead and use a bigger wire for this book, because it doesn't matter if the wire is bigger, it just can't be smaller. You could use a bigger wire so that you do have the option to add more pages. And now guys, you won't even be able to notice which page unless you feel and find the one with the cardstock in it. So that is how you add a page. Make sure you comment below. Also make sure you come to my Facebook page, because you will see other people making these books using different creative expressions for the covers. They're adding more things. It's really fun to see what people can do with these notebooks. So if you're not on a Facebook page, please join one. Check out my Facebook. I'm Crafty Tina's on Facebook, but the link will be in the description, along with the link for the stamps and the wires. There is a video showing you how to make this if you want to see what size wires to make on your book, there is a video tutorial showing you that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new. Go be creative, and as always, guys, happy crafting.